Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me okay at the back? My voice is okay? My name is Murray Lindsay, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Management, and I'm delighted to welcome you here. As you may have noticed when you were driving up, there's a big building that's going up. I think it's on that side of us, right? I'm directionally challenged, which is going to be called Markin Hall. We're very excited about Markin Hall, and we're expected to be moving into Markin Hall on July 1st. Now, one of the exciting features of Markin Hall, which is going to host the faculties of Management and Health Sciences, is that Markin Hall is going to be the location or home of Western Canada's only financial trading laboratory. And we're really excited about that. And we've asked you to come today so that we could tell you about the plans and, more importantly, about the vision for the trading laboratory in Markin Hall. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for attending today's event today. It means a lot to us. Our goal today is to share the vision of the trading lab with you, but more importantly, it's to hear your feedback and comments about our vision. And hopefully through your comments today and as we progress down the road, because this is going to be a work in progress. It's not going to be completed for July 1st. The costs are very substantial with mounting a trading room, and so we're going to have to take it in slices. So this is likely going to be a 10-year project, but we'd really like to share our enthusiasm with you and get you excited by what we think is just going to be an absolutely superb project. Now, before we get going, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of 3 of our advisory board members, of the Faculty of Management's advisory board members. Dennis Opinko from Scotiabank, Dennis Chinner from RBC, and Bill Halley from Ring Industries. Is that right, Bill? Ring Containers. Ring Containers. So thank you very much for coming. And I'd also like to thank Steve Craig and Barry Knapp for organizing today's event. Thank you, Steve. Steve's our Director of External Relations. And Barry, where are you? And Barry is an officer with our advancement group here. Now, I'm going to be turning the podium over to Professor Cornelis Loss. Professor Cornelis is sitting up front here. We hired Cornelis about 18 months ago, and in many ways, the hiring of Professor Loss was the first step to making this trading room a reality. He was formerly Chief Economist of ING Bank USA. He was an economist at the Federal Reserve for several years. He has a PhD from Columbia University. And particularly important from my point of view is he's had experiences twice in designing and developing a trading room. And so we're very fortunate to have Professor Cornelis Loss with us. And with that, I welcome you again. Thank you for your attention, and I'll turn it over to Cornelis. There we go.
Thank you, Murray.
Oh, we're going to have to rewire.
I just put it on. Well, thank you very much for coming to our campus. It's always delightful to have visitors to our campus and to show the latest development in technology that we are capable of. So all of you, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will enjoy this. At the end of this presentation, I hope to be able to demonstrate a little bit of the excitement in the trading room, because we have a live connection, I think, if everything works. First of all, we have different features. This is a sort of a little bit out-of-date picture. I will show you a newer picture, newer design picture of a trading floor. That is different from a computer room. It is much more exciting and much more interesting for students. I have here actually one of my students, Srečko, who was instrumental in promoting the vision of the trading room among the students. I must say, very well done. We will discuss the vision of the trading laboratory, because this is not only a laboratory, it will have a whole set of programs attached to it. And it has indeed benefits not only for the community of students, but I think also for the Lethbridge community, in the sense that we will try to provide several training programs. We do seek your input and guidance, as we will emphasize at the end of this presentation, and in particular where it concerns, of course, the challenges of fund development. I like the word fund development better than fundraising, because fund development means that you become a stakeholder in the process. And of course we ask for ideas for programming activities, and then we will have a Q&A followed by a social. This is how the outside of the trading room will look like. We are located where the window is, in that elliptical drum on the second floor in the middle of the atrium of the new marking hall. There will be on the outside a ticker in 8 colors, and it's quite a large one actually. We are very proud that that will be installed, and the visitors on the second floor gallery at the left side will be able to look into the trading floor and see what is going on. This will be the inside of the trading floor. We will have a gain and ticker tape. We will have display panels on the left and the right side of the room with TV stations coming in. And every workstation, 38 workstations, will have 2 screens with different access, and these 2 screens can be projected on 2 screens in the front, so that the students can work on a particular project while following also my lecture, I hope. We are not sure if we will have a telephone system in there, because it is a very costly affair, but that depends, of course, on the sponsorship that we can get. This will be high frequency data trading simulator. And I just explained to a couple of you what high frequency nowadays means. It is not trading in seconds. It is not even trading in milliseconds. It's trading in microseconds. That is 1/1,000,000th of a second. I just saw an example where I was looking for 200 shares over 5 exchanges over the whole world in 22 microseconds. The order was filled. Another statistic that is important to realize with this is, for example, in the United States, 65% of all the trading done in stocks is done by computers between computers. So it's a very different world than we have lived in. We are no longer flying a little Beechcraft. We are not even flying a 747. We're flying an F-18. So we will have 38 workstations. We will have screen access to Reuters Thomson via some financial trading system provided by the Carnegie Mellon on the license. We will have Bloomberg terminal, or terminals, depending again on the sponsorship. And we will have many different databases to which we will have access. We will have large plasma screens again for the news. I will have to wake up my students probably at 6 o'clock in the morning, because at 6:30 local time, that's 8:30 New York time, the consumer price index is announced every third Friday of the month. And you want to see what impact that actually has on the yield curve, the term structure. They want to see that directly from the news and on the data. So we will have stocks, commodities, and foreign exchange. In particular, we will emphasize the agribusiness and energy business, and of course foreign exchange business of importance to the province of Alberta. We will try to do this in the context of developing a center for commodity trading and financial risk management. That will be a sort of copula over all those activities. And we will try to recruit more faculty that are interested in this kind of research. We will offer an outstanding finance program. We have already an outstanding finance program, of course, but we will improve it further. We will extend it further, and we will raise the quality. I was just talking this week with a couple of lecturers to include some trading sessions in their finance programs, even in corporate finance. Treasurers of firms nowadays have to know what is going on in the financial markets. And then we will try to take the research to a higher level. I have at the moment 2 master students in finance. One is writing a master thesis on the financial integration of under the North American Free Trade Agreement. Basically a system of moving doors connected by hinges, because we have flexible exchange rates. And another one is looking actually at temperature in Alberta, in Edmonton, Calgary, and Lethbridge, because these temperature data are of importance for futures trading in Chicago. Okay, we try to, of course, increase the profile of this university by this new research center. This is a spider that Murray actually hates because it is too small, but you are all welcome to the presentation. At the left side, basically the green side, these 4 blocks, These are all related to the financial trading room, and that is what we already have realized, except for the trading room itself, which comes online next summer. Under that, we have a student-managed asset management fund. That is a fund for which we try to raise money. The University of Calgary has one, the University of Toronto has one, Concordia has one, and I take students in the spring to RISE, that is the Rethinking Investment Strategy Education Conference in Dayton, Ohio, where 2,600 students who manage their own funds come together with 700 professors and 300 professionals. We want to be in that group of competitors. So student competitions are very important. The center, ultimately, of course, I talk also in my own self-interest. We want to have a chair in financial engineering. And then we want to develop the programming with seminars, workshops, and conferences. We want to have certificates for professional risk managers and financial risk managers. And we want to have workshops for the local community. And then, of course, the research in high-frequency data. We want, as far as education is concerned, we want to inject realism in the finance programs. Not only theory, we want practical hands-on. When somebody needs to value a particular asset, they need to know what real data are available, how it is modeled, various competing models, and then determine if something is under or overvalued, and then place a trade. We want to have that whole sequence of event that they know what to do, so that we deliver students that can be employed immediately. We give a simulator type instruction. It is like a flight simulator for pilots of indeed a F-18. They will be sitting there at their workstations with real lifetime data, and they can place their orders immediately. It's still virtual money, except for the student management. It's only virtual money. In the spring, I gave all my students in the asset management course a $1 million account. And then in 14 weeks, see what happens at the end. What do you think? Half of them made money, half of them lost money. It's absolutely true. The one who made money made about 20 million. The one who lost money lost $500,000. So it's $1.5 million in total loss. But there was at least an upside. Okay, that is actually very important for students to understand, that when they buy and trade things, that there is risk involved, enormous risk, as everybody is very much aware of it, but you have to feel it. You have hands-on experience with how fast the market reacts, and we have two kinds of simulator systems. One is that with real data feeds, live data feeds, and another one is basically a market that is generated by a computer against which you trade, like chess players against a computer, and see if you can win or influence. So we teach the theory, and then we show the application, in particular of risk management. Because keeping your money is probably even more important nowadays than making the money. Especially the last year has taught us all a lesson. You can hedge against certain volatility, but there is also a kind of volatility against which you cannot hedge. We call those singularities, and last year October was one of them. And then, of course, the real money, and that is what gets the students definitely excited. So, the new courses, on your tables you find a handout actually devoted announcement of the new course that we will teach already this spring in the laboratory of the library. It is not ideal, but it is sort of trying to feel our way through so that when the trading room comes online, we will be ready for it. This course will be simultaneously taught at least here in Lethbridge and Edmonton, and hopefully, still hopefully, in Calgary. But that is what we try to do. We try to have an Alberta-wide presence of the university. We try to prepare students for competitions. I have already mentioned the RISE competition in Dayton, Ohio. There is a famous one in Rodman, International Trading Competition. I just saw a case there that was a British Petroleum case for natural gas futures. If I had come half a year earlier, we would have entered that. But because of the modeling of my master students in the temperature data of Alberta. But anyway, we are ready for that sort of things then in the coming years. And of course, we will try to maybe establish our own competition to bring people to the campus. from outside. There is a small competition in January in the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, for example. We can do that then during the year. And I'm sure that people want to come, at least in the summer, to Southern Alberta. We will provide free workshops, how to read in Bloomberg, where to get the data, what is a derivative, how do you trade commodities nowadays, and foreign exchange in particular. A friend of mine at the University of Aarhus in Denmark just gave a paper on the interest rate and foreign exchange risk hedging by small and medium-sized firms in Denmark. Well, we can do similar surveys here in Alberta. I'm sure that most of you are involved in this kind of activities. And then, of course, we try to prepare the students for various designations, the Chartered Financial Analyst, Professional Risk Manager, and Financial Risk Manager designations. We try to take our research to the next level, in particular for attracting faculty. Faculty you can attract only when you offer an exciting environment in which they can work. And if we want to go in this direction, we need to provide that environment, and then we are able to attract that high caliber faculty, because trading rooms are very, very scarce. And as said, as Murray emphasized, we are the first and only financial trading room in an academic environment in Western Canada. Actually, yeah, large part of Canada. More finance master thesis, and hopefully, eventually, the 10-year plan of Murray, we get the PhD too. We try to get that center. And yes, you can put your name on it if you donate a sufficient amount of money to this program. And we will provide a master's in financial engineering. I have helped to design a master in financial engineering at the Kent State University in Ohio, which has the derivatives trading room that was partly donated by the Chicago Board of Trade. And there we built a trading room. And other trading rooms I've built at the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Okay, and the new chair, of course. The Master of Financial Engineering is the next major project that I am already busy with, actually, in advance of the trading room coming online. Financial engineer, I teach a course in derivatives markets, and already we are calculating what exactly the risks are that nowadays and financial analysts and investors are exposed to. And so this degree prepares students for higher level finance jobs in a quantitative profession. There's almost no non-quantitative finance, as you imagine. So we have the analysis, but also the design of financial instruments. So they can help the financial institutions to market new products with a partial emphasis on derivatives, embedded options in bond structures, note structures, structured notes, and so on. That sort of things they will be taught and find out what actually the risks are. And the focus will be on, as I said, on things that are of concern to this province. And happily, this coincides with the this is my power, I don't know. Don't worry about it. I will get it out of the way. This coincides happily with a worldwide concern, worldwide investors' interest, actually. Real estate we just had. Technology was pre-real estate bubble. Now we have a commodity bubble, and Alberta is the better for it, for the moment. Of course, be careful, bubbles end. So how long is this last? I don't know. But the usual bubble length is about 5 years, so at least we can look forward for that. The return on investment in the trading room is actually quite large. Of course, we get a lot of energy out of it. Activity, the students are energized, the faculty will be energized. And yes, we do get alumni donations out of it. Student satisfaction. Very important for us, because Lethbridge is not exactly close to major centers. So if we want to attract students, there has to be something that is really exciting. And in finance, that will then be the trading floor. Actually in business, I should say, because I think the dean will certainly lead his visitors to the trading floor. Yes, and it will also help us with attracting faculty and create jobs, of course, for the students. Because the sponsors themselves, we are already looking at sponsorships like internships. So the students do a master in financial engineering. That means 2 semesters of theory on campus. And then they spend the next 3 to 4 months as an intern with a financial firm, which can then look over their shoulders at the project that they do with the financial firm and the professor. And then after 3 or 4 months, they decide, pretty good. Let's hire them. And that is the usual response. 90% of these students who are in internships get hired. So we will have a better throughput, actually, of the students. Now, this is our challenge, to raise $3.5 million, about $500,000 to equip the trading room. This next figure is from my dean. I think it should be larger, but for the student funds. But we start with $250,000. Several of the funds that I know are about in the order of $350,000 to $500,000, and they tend to grow. So when they are, of course, well managed or not, they stay flat. But that is not important. Even when they stay flat, and even when they lose some money over time, and then we make it up later, it's good experience for the students to be really exposed to risk. Even with virtual risk, which they already do. They get anxious already that they lose their investments, like the trading of the fast track that I showed to them. When they have real money, they get really anxious. They cannot sleep and so on. So it's actually pretty good. And then, of course, we need to defray the operating costs of the databases and the data access in particular, which is the most expensive part. We also hope that our sponsors do not only donate money, but donate maybe their analytic platforms. And that will be a marketing tool for them. They get a captive audience, our students, and at the same time, the students get familiar with those trading platforms and then can move on. So you can buy this, get your name on some things. The trading room itself, we put the price tag of $2 million on it. The research center, $1.5 million. The name chair, $1.5 million. And then, yes, we have also some smaller donations are possible. $500,000 for the student management. This is, sorry, it was the $250,000 and $500,000 that we argued about. $100,000 for the name on the ticker tape. We have 2. If you just want your name on the LED color display for $50,000, and yes, you can also have your name for $5,000 on a workstation. There are 38 of them.